I bought my first house when I completed pediatric residency. Since I listened to Dave Ramsey, I feel the need to tell you that although I did have a student loan for college and medical school, it was less than $100,000. I had no other debt. I had a credit card that I got before I moved to Philadelphia for my internship because I could not rent a moving van without a credit card, even though I had the money to rent the moving van. I did not get the credit card as a safety net in case I wanted to buy something that I did not have the money to buy. I never even considered buying anything that I did not have the money for, and I used cash or wrote a check for purchases, like going out to eat or at the grocery store. Anyway, Ma went with me to look at houses in Wichita before I completed residency. I wanted to move directly from my apartment in Kansas City to a house in Wichita. I felt like delayed gratification had gone on long enough. The practice was paying for my moving expenses, and I was getting a $10,000 signing bonus to use for a down payment. The house I found was brand new. 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2-car garage with a mostly finished basement for less than $100,000. It was the early 1990s, if you are wondering about the price for such a property. Of course, I got to pick out the Formica countertops and linoleum floors in the kitchen and bathrooms and the carpet throughout the rest of the house. Ma and I talked weekly on the phone since college, and we even wrote letters. Of course, we talked more when we were together house hunting. I was excited and looking forward to joining Mid-Kansas Pediatrics. I would be in the same office every day and make rounds at the hospitals. It was nice to think that I would be working with the same people every day and not switching rotations every month to be on a different floor in the same hospital or a different hospital, sometimes even in a different state. Since my 3rd year in medical school, through internship year in Philadelphia, and 3 years of pediatric residency at Children's Mercy in Kansas City. Every month, there were new people to meet and work with. As an aside, the male medical students and residents always seemed to get more help finding charts. This was before computerized medical records from the nurses than I did. I jokingly told Ma I had figured out that I just needed to introduce myself each month this way. Hi, I am Dr. Elmer. I am not married. I have never been married. I do not have any children. I am not gay. The last was a little bit of a shocking statement for the early 1990s. I did not make it to Wichita in time to do a walkthrough of the house before signing, but Ma had come early and had done the walkthrough. There were no cell phones, so she did the walkthrough, trusting that I would be at the title company for the appointment to sign papers. She let me know that the house looked good, except the back deck was not on yet, but the builder assured her that he would get that done later. Silly of me to not get there in time for the walkthrough. I do not know what my crazy mind was thinking. There were a lot of papers to sign. I wish I could say I understood all of them, but I did not. After all the signing of papers, we got the keys, and Ma and I headed to the house. It was a very pleasant late spring day with the afternoon sun shining brightly. I did not need a jacket. I had not seen the completed house yet, so as I was walking through the house to check everything out, Ma was getting her things from the car to spend the night. We would sleep on thick blankets on the floor since the moving truck would not be there that afternoon. As I stood in the living room, I heard Ma talking to someone in the driveway. She said she was not the one moving in, it was her daughter. She is a pediatrician, Cindy Elmer. She is not married. She has never been married. She does not have children, and she is not gay. It was quiet after that. I was a little embarrassed, so I took a minute before I walked outside to meet my new neighbor. When we were eating dinner later, I told Ma that I had really not intended to introduce myself that way to people. I just knew they were trying to figure out the answer to all those questions, and I would not have introduced myself to my new neighbor that way. Ma replied, "Well, I thought I would just say it so she did not have to wonder."